And we want to help you finish it with a bang with Krishna consciousness. And I'm happy to be here with all of you. I hope that you're all doing fine. I heard that things are much better now, and people are mixing together, etc. I don't know how far that's true. I keep hearing different things from different people all the time. But however, we have this opportunity by Krishna's arrangement to meet here on this virtual platform. But we're going to discuss absolute truth. What I discuss is not virtual with you. We're using the virtual for attaining the truth. In other words, virtual means something like illusion, something like not real. But we're using the virtual platform to actually achieve the reality, the truth. There is a nice shloka in the Bhagavatam that says that he is the intelligent person who uses the temporary to achieve the permanent. So material life means temporary. This body is temporary. Life is fleeting, and that's also temporary. But in this lifetime, if we come to know about the absolute truth, and if you perform devotional service, which is not illusory or temporary, but it is eternal, absolute, then you connect with the absolute truth even while in the temporary. That's the greatness of devotional service. That's the scintillating quality of Bhakti. So although we may be addressing on the virtual platform, we are talking about reality. We are talking about Krishna. We are talking about the truth. And we are talking about how to achieve that. So I want to welcome all of you to the Gita Wisdom session. And we hope today we'll pick up some important wisdom, interesting wisdom. I'm going to read to you from chapter 4, text 14 of the Bhagavad Gita. Repeat it again. Chapter 4, text 14, 1-4. Okay? If you have the Bhagavad Gita in front of you, please open it up. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spriha iti mam yo bijhanati karma bhir nasabhadyate. I will chant it once more. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spriha iti mam yo bhijanati karma bhir nasabhadyate. Once more. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spriha iti mam yo bhijanati karma bhir nasabhadyate. Okay, you're going to chant along with me after I chant every line. Namam karmani limpanti.
Namam karmani limpanti.
Name karma phale spriha.
Name karma phale spriha.
Iti mam yo bhijanati.
Iti mam yo abhijanati.
Karma bhir nasabhadyate.
Karma bhir nasabhadyate.
Once more. Namam karmani limpanti.
Namam karmani limpanti.
Name karma phale spriha.
Name karma phale spriha.
Iti mam yo abhijanati.
Iti mam yo abhijanati.
Karma bhir nasabhadyate.
Karma bhir nasabhadyate.
Thank you. Thank you. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth above me also does not become entangled in the fruit of reaction of work. Purport: as there are constitutional laws in the material world stating that the king can do no wrong, or that the king is not subject to the state laws. Similarly, the Lord, although he is the creator of this material world, is not affected by the activities of the material world. He creates and remains aloof from the creation, whereas the living entities are entangled in the fruitive results of material activities because of their propensity for lording it over material resources. The proprietor of an establishment is not responsible for the right and wrong activities of the workers, but the workers are themselves responsible. The living entities are engaged in their respective activities of sense gratification, and these activities are not ordained by the Lord. For advancement of sense gratification, the living entities are engaged in the work of this world, and they aspire to heavenly happiness after death. The Lord, being full in himself, has no attraction for so-called heavenly happiness. The heavenly demigods are only his engaged servants. The proprietor never desires a low-grade happiness such as the workers may desire. He is aloof from the material actions and reactions. For example, the rains are not responsible for different types of vegetation that appear on the earth. Although without such rains, there is no possibility of vegetative growth. Vedic Smriti confirms this fact as follows: Nimita matram evasau srijyanam sarga karmani pradhana karani bhuta yato vaisrijya shaktayah. In the material creations, the Lord is the only supreme cause. The immediate cause is material nature, by which the cosmic manifestation is made visible. The created beings are of many varieties, such as the demigods, human beings, and lower animals, and all of them are subject to the reactions of their past good and bad activities. The Lord only gives them the proper facilities for such activities and the regulations of the modes of nature, but he is never responsible for their past and present activities. In the Vedanta Sutra, it is confirmed, Vaishamyanait grinye na sapekshatvat. The Lord is never partial to any living entity. The living entity is responsible for his own acts. The Lord only gives him facilities through the agency of material nature, the external energy. Anyone who is fully conversant with all the intricacies of this law of karma, or fruitive activities, does not become affected by the results of his activities. In other words, the person who understands the transcendental nature of the Lord is an experienced man in Krishna consciousness, and thus he is never subjected to the laws of karma. One who does not know the transcendental nature of the Lord and who thinks that the activities of the Lord are aimed at fruitive results, as are the activities of the ordinary living entities, certainly becomes entangled himself in fruitive reactions. But one who knows the supreme truth is a liberated soul fixed in Krishna consciousness. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnana Timiranthasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitamatam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spriha itimam yobi janati karmabhir nasa bhadyate. Very wonderfully explained by Prabhupada in the purport that the Lord is explaining, I have no karma chasing me. I am not entangled in karma like you are or everybody in this world is. If you understand this itself, you will become free from your karma. In other words, if you understand God, Krishna, is not like you and me. He is transcendental to this world. Although he appears here, we should not make the mistake of thinking he is one among us. He is appearing amongst us only for our benefit, for us to take his association, his instructions, and thereby make our life perfect. While he is here, we shouldn't think he is one of us. This is madness. If you also mundanize God and bring him down to your level, and you will only achieve complete anarchy and the highest level also. Nobody in charge, no control. God is also one of us. He is like us. This is a philosophy that tries to make God equal to each one of us. It's another way of denying the existence of God. Right? So many times people say, Krishna also did this, Krishna also did that, Krishna also was cursed by Gandhari, and this took place. All that is his Leela. It doesn't affect him like it affects us. This first thing we must be very carefully understanding. Krishna is very distinctly saying that I am not like you. Similarly, in the 4th chapter, Arjuna does ask, you said that Vivaswan Manave Hapraha Manurikshwa Kaive Bravit. You instructed the signs to Vivaswan, sun god, many millenniums back. And then sun god, Ikshwaku and Manu and all of them together. But I was not there. I don't know any of those things. How am I supposed to believe that? Because that is far back. And they are all much senior to me. How am I to believe that you instructed them? And then Krishna pat gives the reply, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna tanyeham veda sarvani natvam veta parantapa. He says, he must most probably be smiling, I think. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna. You have passed many lifetimes. You don't remember any of them. I remember all of them. Not only for you, Arjuna, but every one of these people's lifetimes I know. The past, the present, I know. And I also have an indication of what possibly he will do in the future if he continues like this. Tanyaham Veda Sarvani. I know everything. Natvam Veta Parantapa. You don't know. That's the difference between you and me. That's the difference between you and me. So it's a common thing in this world that when we associate with some authority, we become familiar with that authority. Then we lose respect for that authority. And we make him equal to us. It is the capacity of our mind to mundanize and bring everything down to the material level. We are all hardwired to do that. This is how even philosophy of Krishna consciousness, as is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, Sakala neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. That also became lost, and that's why Krishna is saying, I am Savevayam Mayate Adhya Yoga Prokta Puratana. Again, I am saying this to you. Right? So, first thing we should know is God, Krishna, is not at all like us. He's not a conditioned soul, number one. Number two, he is not affected by karma. His actions are not material. This we should know. So, what then is the outcome of this? Why do people, yesterday evening I had a session with our senior Bhakti Shastri students whom we are doing study of the Gita, every verse together. It takes 150 hours and we are studying that. One of the questions there was, how do you explain the presence of evil and suffering in this world if God is there? People are all asking this question, why everybody is suffering, corona, dying, and I don't see anything happening. Is God there? Right. So how do you explain suffering and evil in this world? This problem is called the problem, it's titled theodicy in the Christian theology. The presence of evil in this world, how do you explain it? And it's been challenging to Christians to explain it. They have given some explanations also. But this is what in the purport you can see explained. Everything that's happening in this world, whenever there is a problem, it is happening because of misuse of the facility of the human life, misuse of the facility of this material world, without understanding who is the proprietor, who is the father. That is what is the reason why evil is coming up. In other words, karma, collective karma of people who don't recognize God. The leadership of the world don't recognize God. They have all become secular governments. No religion. We'll manage it ourselves. No recourse to anybody higher. We are the top. There's nobody higher. We will manage. Why we rely on somebody else who is not even to be seen? We don't know him. We don't know even if he exists. We want something practical, tangible, here in the now. Let God come right here and be here with us and solve the problems. If I don't get to see him, I don't believe him. That rationalistic, empirical approach. So most of them think that I don't need such a person in my life. Because of that, and because the truth is there is such a supreme personality. Yato vayimani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti janmadhyasya yatah anvayaditratashcharteshva abhijñaswarat tene brahma hridayadikavaye muhyanti yat surayah tejo vari mrinam yata vinamayo trisargo amrisha dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. The whole Vedic literature repeatedly explains this, that person from whom everything is coming. That person due to which this whole material world is manifested. And that person's energy on which everything operates. He is the source. It keeps talking about it repeatedly. A personality. And that is a reality. If we start from that premise, then all our arguments will be paka. Otherwise, we can't answer why there is suffering in this world if you don't accept the authority. You can't accept the authority, then there'll be suffering. Just like in a much scaled down, smaller unit inside the family, the father is the head of the family. And he has 3 children, wife, and his parents, everybody there. And he's working hard, looking after them, bringing in the money, making rules in the house. You do this service, you do that, you do this. You be disciplined, you go to school. He pays the tuition fees for them, pays the school fees, he pays the groceries, he does everything, and he working hard, he's managed the whole thing, put it together and say, I want all of you to be happy. Tell me what you want and I'll try to do my best, but please follow this. for the house to function properly, for things to happen, for the future of the children, and everything together, for our health and my parents and everything together, some system is put in place. I will provide for it, everything. Now, if people don't follow, if the son doesn't go to school, he smokes ganja or has drugs, or he goes away with somebody. And if the wife is very interested in her local women's association, or she's a great president of that place or something, she doesn't look into her children, she doesn't cook at home. Or imagine if the parents eating things that they're not supposed to eat, doing things they're not supposed to do. Father gets to be a drunkard, he smokes, and he's got a severe that problem, this problem. He doesn't listen. That happens, this happens. It's very difficult inside the house. So, whose problem is it? The problem is because these people don't follow the instructions. Therefore, I'm not able to guarantee a good life for you. Right? So, although he has got good intentions, the head of the family, people don't listen. All the facility that is given gets misused. The money gets misused by the son for smoking, drinking, and having some gratification. The money gets misused by the father in drinking and smoking, and the wife in going away here and there. Nothing is used properly. There won't be a progressive family. They can't be happy. Then the father gets diseased more and he suffers. Son gets thrown out of the school and his future is dimmed. And then the wife suffers mental problems because of the fact that somebody is doing politics to her, and then at home the children shout at her, there is no food, there's nothing, it's all chaos. So whose problem is this? Problem of people who don't use the facility properly, who don't believe, who don't have faith and follow certain little systems. So they bring upon themselves misery. You can't say it's because of the father. And then everybody starts blaming, oh, you are supposed to be the head of the family. What are you doing about this? What are you doing on that? You don't listen to me. How can I do what I'm supposed to do for you? I'm giving you this facility, Krishna says. Evam pravartitam chakram nanu vartaiti hayah aghayur indriya ramo moham partasa jivati. Moham partasa jivati. One who doesn't follow the system that I have set up for you to have a nice material life, fresh air, fresh water, healthy fruits, vegetables, grains, everything for you, nice spiritual opportunities, and you gradually progress. Everything I've made it up so that your material life gets taken care of, your spiritual life gets taken care of. And if you don't want to follow that system, you get reactions from material nature. You get reactions from the demigods who are ruling. They all become dissatisfied with you. And then you get coronavirus, then you get this, and you blame me. You blame me. But I am not involved in these type of things that you do in the material world. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spriha. How am I to be blamed from it? Because I am not involved in material life. I am not living a material this thing. I made it for you because you wanted it. You manage it properly according to the rules and regulations. You won't suffer. It's designed by me. Please follow the design. So this is a very simple explanation. Now what people do is they challenge you. Oh, what about your God? Why doesn't he come and save everybody who's dying out of corona? Why doesn't he save everybody in Afghanistan? Why is there terrorism? Why this is happening here? Why that's... Who is responsible? Why do you think that God is responsible for all these things? Is he an old man sitting on top with angry eyes and a long white beard, and his interest is in just thumbing down all of us and giving us trouble? That's not the explanation we see in Bhagavad Gita. This is a very loving God, wonderful, amazing personality of Godhead, who is making facilities for us out of love for us. Even though you may not want to be with him, you may not want to remember him, still he knows you are dependent on him. You can't do even your independent activity without my intervention and the facility. So I'm providing all these things. And even if you speak ill of me, I'm providing it for you because you don't have anybody else, actually. So it's foolishness on your part to turn around and speak ill of the Supreme Lord, who is giving you everything, including the energy to speak ill of him. Isn't it amazing? This is Krishna's explanation, Bhagavad Gita. He said, do not blame me for it because it is your doing. It is your doing. So if you analyze very nicely, we also come into trouble in our personal lives because of harboring greed, lust, anger, envy, all this in our heart. These are weeds. The real thing we should grow inside is bhakti, love for God. And that is what is the mission of human life. Learn to love God. Automatically you learn to love everybody else, including the animals, including the birds, including other siblings who live along with you. Nature, the valleys, the hills, the rivers, the sea, all of them are interconnected very nicely with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in a system that is established. If you fall and be sync and in harmony with that system set up by the Lord, you will have no trouble. Very less trouble, let us say. But those who violate those instructions, they create trouble for themselves and for others on the planet. This is what is happening. So when people ask the question, so why are good people also suffering? It's because of people around you who are evil. And they do evil things, and you don't say anything about it. If you don't teach them what's the right thing also, you're also implicated. So Prabhupada told us Vedic system is whenever you see wrong, you must scream at it and say, this is not the way to do it. This is the right way to do it. And people may hear, may not hear. Those who are sensible at least will hear and change. And those who are asuric and demoniac, they won't like to hear it, but that's the way the world is. But at least you say it. So why there is evil? Also it's because people who are good don't speak up and give the word of God to others. Preach Krishna consciousness, speak about it, teach your children, teach your neighbors, teach your relatives, teach your acquaintances, offer it to them. And you'll see you'll be surrounded by people who know this. Who know this. Automatically, people who are with you and around you are those type of people whom you taught this, and they also espouse that. They also practice it. They also enjoy it. And then there'll be no evil people around you. So we should spread the goodwill, the good news of Krishna consciousness. I think I told you earlier about a farmer who has found out a wonderful variety of corn. He did a lot of, growth and grafting and mixing and breeding and interbreeding and whatever you want to call it. And he found a good variety, natural good variety. And he started growing it. And it was selling like hotcakes, and people from all over the world were interested in it. And in an interview, he was asked, what about all the corn farms all around you? That whole area is full of corn. You have made this good corn. You grow this. Won't that pollen coming in from there affect this thing? And there'll be cross-pollination to be affecting the species, that's particular variety that you have made. There's a lot of problems you will have, no? How do you deal with it? He said, with a smile, he said, I've taken care of that. I've thought of that. I have distributed free seeds of corn to all the people miles around me. And they're already growing my corn only. And I'm doing my research and producing better and better. And I distribute it to them. I surround myself with people who have my variety. I have no problem. This was an amazing explanation he gave. So they thought it's wonderful that you're a giving person and you give it out, and therefore what you have with you is very safe. So if I have this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna consciousness, I give it out to people. It's free. It's not my possession. When I give it over to people around me, I get surrounded by people who are like me, have the same lifestyle, and espouse the same quality of life. Then if each one does that, it's spread like a wildfire. You won't have bushfires like in California and Brazil and other places. You will have the fire of good consciousness all around you. And people will be excited and happy to be associated with Krishna, with God. And world will become a much better place to live in. So that way, evil can be squashed. That way, godless society can turn into a fully God-conscious society. And it is possible. And there have been examples in the past, in the history, of wonderful regimes, of great kings. Parikshit, he would not allow even a little bit of evil to come inside. He was so strong Krishna-conscious leader, a very wonderful devotee, who saw the Lord in his womb itself. Parikshit was the last descendant of the Pandavas. Ashwatthama killed the 5 sons of Draupadi. And then Ashwatthama was chased by Krishna and Arjuna and brought in front of the Pandavas, including Draupadi. And Draupadi said, don't kill him, don't do anything to him. He is the son of a Brahmana. We must not do Brahma Hatya. Not only that, his mother will suffer the same way I suffered losing my children. I don't want her to be in misery. Please don't do this. Leave him alone. Let him go. That's the type of heart she had. Right? So what happened is that Ashwatthama, although he left, he again attacked. There was one more son, Abhimanyu's wife, Uttara. She had a son, and Abhimanyu passed away. So he aimed a Brahmastra at that descendant in the womb of Uttara. And Uttara came running, knowing this, to Krishna. Pahi, Pahi, Mahayogin, Devadeva Jagatpate. Oh, please, Yogeshwara, Krishna, only you can save me. Save the child in my womb. A Brahmastra is coming to attack. I have no chance of protecting my child. Only you can do. So Krishna, he boom, entered the womb of Uttara. Can you imagine? He is the super soul already in the heart of Uttara. He entered the womb and protected the fetus, absorbed the whole Brahmastra, sucked it inside, and kept alive this person who later was born as Parikshit. And he saw in the womb of his mother the Lord walking up and down with his Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, very small size, fit enough for him to see. And when he came out, he was born, he was always looking at, where is that person I saw? He was putting everybody to the test. And therefore he was called Parikshit. Pariksha, Parikshit. From a very young age, he was worshipping the Lord. He was a devotee of the Lord because he has seen him. And he has full faith. Such a person was Parikshit. And he was ruling, the emperor of the whole world. And it was the end of Dwapara Yuga. And Kali, personified Kali Yuga, was getting ready to enter and do his job. So he thought, I'll come a little early and set up things properly so that I can screw up the entire human society in Kali Yuga. He was personified Kali. So he entered Parikshit's domain. And Parikshit immediately came to know about it and came to attack Kali and finish him. I'll finish you. And Kali fell at his feet and held his feet and said, I am also a citizen. I am also a creation of God. You have to give me a place and protect me. Don't kill me. I have service to do like you have. So it's not proper for you to kill me. Then he said, okay, since you have surrendered to me, you will stay where I tell you to stay. If you move out, I'll finish you. So he kept even Kali Yuga in its place. So powerful. And his entire kingdom was full with people who were Krishna conscious. Everybody had facility to become a bhakta and develop bhakti in a nice way. He had temples, he had teaching, he had education. Everybody learned Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, everything, and knew about Krishna, and society was peaceful. So it is not that it is not possible. History shows that it was possible. The greater history, Mahabharata, will tell you clans of kings who did this. Yudhishthir did that. He saved the whole human society. Kurukshetra war took place, installed and ruled and trained people, and dharma came back. So it's not an idealistic thought, and it's not a pie in the sky that cannot be achieved. But this is what Krishna's creation is meant for. In fact, these are the things that can be achieved and people can become happy. You can never become happy if you have a godless society, if the leaders reject God and his laws and rules and everything meant for us. So there's a lot of such wonderful histories of great personalities and the regime and the rule and the reign and how people were lived them. Ram Rajya, we talk about in Treta Yuga. Lord Ramachandra in Ayodhya, how people were wonderfully happy, right? And one person in that, Mantara, was dissatisfied and she did something, and then a whole lot of events unfolded. Of course, it was all the plan of the Lord. But Ramchandra ruled. Same we see in history, Dhruva Maharaj ruled. All great kings who were interested in teaching people God consciousness. This is the history of India. This is what is Mahabharata, right? And in Kali Yuga also it is predicted that Lord Chaitanya's period, the Supreme Lord, Krishna himself will appear as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in that there will be a period of 10,000 years where there will be a golden age, where people will chant the holy name of Krishna in Sankirtan, Harinama Sankirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. They'll spread all over the globe and make it a wonderful place. This is only the beginning we are seeing, right? It's 50 years past since the International Society Krishna Consciousness was set up by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And it's mentioned in the Brihad Naradiya Purana, it's mentioned in many Puranas that this will happen in Kali Yuga for a short period of 10,000 years. Out of the 432,000 years that Kali Yuga is, the initial 10,000 years will be great because it will be a wonderful occasion where everybody will follow the order of the Lord because of powerful devotees like Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada carries it all over the world, establishes and writes books and trains people and makes a society and puts people in place and founds it. So this is predicted. So all of you, all of us have got that opportunity to actually become free. And this is a great discount period during the Kali Yuga. So we are very fortunate to immediately take advantage of it. So chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and worship Krishna. Lead a simple life and dedicate it to Krishna consciousness. Worship the Lord. Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Karo Krishna Shiksha. You chant the names of Krishna, glorify and worship Krishna and serve him, and give this information to others. And your life will be sublime and you will have no problem. Since you recognize Krishna, you will see you will become free from your own karma, that you have a bank balance of karma. Krishna is saying, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayisyami ma suchaha. I'll relieve you from your entire bank balance of karma that you have. You'll become purified if you chant this holy name. If you offenselessly chant and you follow these directions given in the Bhagavad Gita, your life will become sublime. Unnecessary material desires lead to unnecessary activities And those unnecessary activities implicate us further, and we get bad karma following us, chasing us. And how do unnecessary desires come in us? Because of wrong association. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. According to Sangha, your desires are produced. Sanjayate kama. If you associate with matter, the material world, and materialistic people, you will then generate desires like that, which some of them are even illegal. And you will like to do those things, and you do those things, and you get implicated in bad karma. It will chase you. And karma will really chase you life after life. You don't think that by committing suicide, you can escape your karma. No. You'll only lose your body. It will chase you. It is mentioned that karma knows you so well. It is like in a huge array of cows and calves. If you have taken a few days back, we have a calf in our Goshala, very cute looking white calf. Everybody is going and petting the calf. You have a beautiful calf and then you pet it, you take it and all that. And then if you put it back into the cow area, into the Goshala, the calf will go and find its mother, even if there are hundreds of cows. It will go exactly and find its mother. You don't have to go and tell, this is the mother. It will simply go and find its mother. The mother will also find the calf. Instantly it happens. It's very natural. You don't have to worry about that. That's working of nature. Similarly, it's mentioned, your karma will find you. Whichever birth you take, wherever you go, it will chase you. In North India, they will tell you, jahan bhi aap jayenge, aapka mata aapke saath jayega. Wherever you go, your forehead also will go with you. Your karma will come along with you. Don't have to think that you will be able to avoid it, like you avoid the taxes. And you can take tax consultancy and avoid the tax, how to account it this way, that way. No, all that is taken care of. There are very powerful auditors. He's called Chitragupta. He's assistant of Yamaraj. You can't do any cheating. He has already seen everything that you have done. And you can't give a different account up. Everything is already witnessed. It's not like the business that we do in this world. We can hide from the government certain profits, and you can account it in a different way. You can send it to the Swiss bank and everything. At the most, the Bhagavatam says that you can shift the load from one to the other. If you escape it this lifetime, okay, you'll get it the next lifetime. But you can never be without facing it. If you're carrying a shoulder weight, sometimes kids carry heavy bag. They're walking to the school, and then after some time they stop and they carry it and put it on the other side, and then they walk, and then after some time they shift to the other side. That's all you can do with karma. But you have to take that load. It's required to go to school. I can't say to hell with the books, I want to walk without anything. You will not be admitted inside. You can't do your homework. You can't do your learning. You can't do your education. You have to take that load. It's paining. Shift it to the other shoulder. It's paining there too. Shift it to this shoulder back. But it is your burden. Karma will chase you. It's your burden. At the most, you will get that little relief of shifting it from here to there. One lifetime to the other. That's all. Law of karma is like that. Therefore, better to perform good activity. And the best of activity is to serve Krishna. Let's fill our life with activities to do with Krishna. Sing his glories, hear the Bhagavad Gita, chant the Bhagavad Gita, chant the holy name, hear the Bhagavat, worship the Lord, offer prasadam to everybody, and continuously think of Krishna and center your life around. You will see you will not be able to do any activity that is mischievous and wrong and going to chase you in terms of karma. Fill your life with akarma. There are three types of activities: karma, vikarma, akarma. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. Karma means I follow the rules and regulations correctly and I continue to enjoy material life. Vikarma means to hell with any rules and regulations. I don't care. There is no God. I'll do what I want. Akarma means I do activities for Krishna, for my bhakti, devotional service. If you fill your life with akarma, then all these things will be edged out and you will get the highest benediction. So Prabhupada told us to, as much as possible, the 24 hours a day, try to fill it up with activities of Krishna. I know you have a job, I know you have a housework to do everything. You can always put on the lecture of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, do your housework. You can always, while driving to your place of work, hear a lecture of Prabhupada, hear Kirtan Bhajan. In the afternoon, during lunch also, you may read something for 10-15 minutes. Come back home and take your bath and finish your household duties and sit and read Bhagavat. Get up early in the morning, chant Hare Krishna, worship Krishna, and do all those things. As much as possible, introduce Krishna-oriented activities in your life. And you will see Krishna will give you more and more facility to do so. And maybe after some time, you don't even have to work. And maybe after some time, gradually, you can spend a lot of time and more. And your family members will also support you. And they will also be involved in these activities. And gradually, everything will become so nice that at the end of life, you have filled your life with Krishna consciousness. So Krishna says, I will come and take you back to the spiritual world. This is the perfection of life, and this is going to happen. It is doable. It's happening. It has happened in the past. See, Krishna is saying, Putam madbhavam agataha. In the past, many people have done this. You should also do like they did in the past. Purvai purvataram kritam kuru karmaiva tasmatvam. Therefore, I ask you to do exactly like they done in the past, listening to these instructions of mine and achieve the perfection. So it is doable. It's practical. You should not have that doubt that the words of Krishna will not have effect. It may take a little time because of our attachment to this world. It may take a little time for us to perfect our Krishna consciousness, but you have been here for so many janmas. What is wrong if it takes a little time to get out of it? Isn't it? It's reasonable. It's reasonable only. If I ask you how many janmas have you spent here in the material world separated from Krishna, you won't even know. You'll be wondering, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Bahu Nam Janmanam Ante. So many millions of lifetimes afterwards, somehow because of some devotee crossing him and giving some knowledge and information and the book of Bhagavad Gita, he clicks again. Wow, I forgot all these things. And he starts all over. But by the time he has spent so much of time already. So having spent so much of time here, why do we become impatient about it should happen immediately now? Like a business proposal that I start this and this should happen, I should get the profit immediately. No, you carry on. The great news is that you have been able to understand this and start doing it. That itself is great, because after also you will do this in a bigger way, in a more pure way, in a holistic way, right? With greater enjoyment. So in the process of our sadhana, we shouldn't become impatient. We should continue to chant Hare Krishna, continue to serve the Lord. And in this way, there will definitely be success, because Krishna guarantees. In the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Kaunteya pratijanahi name bhakta pranashyati. My devotee never fails. Declare it boldly to the world. Even apparently he has some type of a fall down. Api chat suduracharo bhajate mam ananyabhak sadhureva samantavyah samyak vyavasito hi saha. Even if my devotee who is trying to get the absolute truth flips a little bit, has a little difficulty, sudurachara, he does something wrong, don't consider to be anything less, because I am actually in charge, I am protecting him. He slipped a little bit. It's like when I'm holding my father's hands and walking, sometimes suddenly I slip, my father holds me chuck like that. He won't allow me to fall down. Why? I'm holding my father's hand. I'm connected already. And even if I do some funny nonsense like slipping on some cow dung or, put my leg into the manhole or something, my father will immediately catch me. Hey, don't worry, I'm here to help you. The material world is full of dangers, and sometimes living here, something wrong may happen. So Krishna is saying, Sadhureva samantavya. Don't consider to be anything less than a sadhu, means a devotee. Samyak vyavastho kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvachantim nikachati. Very soon I will reinstate him because I am holding him. Kaunteya pratijanahi me bhakta pranashati. Declare it boldly to the whole world. My devotee will never be a failure. He'll never perish. He will always be successful in what he wants to do. Achieve love for me. He will. I will look after him because he's my bhakta. So much guarantee Krishna gives. So don't worry. This is a path of success. Even if you flip-flop a little bit, that may delay your final destination a little bit, but you're on the path, on the road. The delay happens only because our own attachment or not doing our Krishna consciousness a little properly or this or that. Initially, all these problems will be there, but after some time, it steadies up and you zoom ahead. That's mentioned by Krishna, right? So isn't it a wonderful offer that Krishna is giving us? He's looking after us so much. He's made all these facilities, even for your material enjoyment. But after doing all that, after doing all the religious stuff and enjoying materially also, we should finally do the real stuff. Surrender to Krishna. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. Give up all these other rules, regulations, religion and all that. The business of religion is to surrender to me, become my devotee. If you can do that, you have achieved success. And I am with you all the time, Krishna says. You will never fail. I am holding you. So depending on Krishna, we should go ahead and practice this. It is a path of success. In the Bhagavatam, the Navayogendra are telling Maharaj and Nimi that, this path of Bhakti Yoga is so foolproof and perfect. It is, Yanastaya Narorajan na pramadyeta karhichit. Dhavan nimi levanetre naskhale napatet iha. He's saying that this path is so wonderful, my dear king, that there's no chance of any bewilderment on this path. But a Jnani's path, a Karmi's path, a Ashtanga Yogi's path, all of them are fraught with many difficulties. But on this path of Bhakti, it says that you blindfold yourself and you run like mad on this road. You'll never fall down. You'll never slip. I guarantee you. What an amazing shloka from the Bhagavatam. It says, Yana na parmadyeta karhi dhavan nimilya vanetre. Dhavan means to run. Nimilya vanetre means closing. Nimilya means your eyelids. Close it. Netre means eyes. You close it and run. You will reach the destination. You will not fall down. You will not slip. You're protected throughout. So wonderful is this pathway, my dear king. The devotion and devotional service expressed by the Bhakta, that is enough. Krishna protects him throughout. He is never a failure. So the path of Bhakti is supreme. It's fully guaranteed. It's fully fortified. It's a path of success, even if you fumble a little bit here and there. This is guarantee given by Krishna. So it would be wonderful if we have faith in this and practice Krishna consciousness according to that. Okay? Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. So if you have any questions, I will try to answer them for you. So here is a comment from Sujata. True, in a crowded place, when my daughters call me, I know it is them. That is motherhood. Yeah, wonderful. Nice comment. Thank you. Pramila Krishnan. The Lord assures yada yada hi dharmasya. Why doesn't he do anything about people who blaspheme the Lord and hurt the devotees and prevent their practice? Or because of their past karma, they are not affected? No. Thank you for that interesting question, Dr. Pramila. Devotional service has got nothing to do with this material world. It is from the spiritual world. Just like the holy name, Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. It is descending into this world out of the Lord's spiritual energy. It's got nothing to do with the material world. No karma, nothing can affect it. The soul can, even in the worst karmic situation, do devotional service. It will be accounted for by the Lord. It's not like other Vedic karmic activities that you do. That's number one. Ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasiddhati. Material activities can never affect your devotional service. Under any circumstance, a person can chant the holy name and render service to Krishna and meditate on him. He gets points for that. He gets marks for that. Even if he's in the worst material condition, even if a worst drunkard, rapist, thief, dacoit, sinful guy chants Hare Krishna, for his chanting Hare Krishna, he'll get benefit. For other things, he will get bad karma, maybe. But the more he chants, the more he has faith in it, you will see that his bad karma will reduce and he will stop doing those things also. He will reform. Because he's touching fire. He'll get purified. He'll also become fire. Right? It's absolute truth, pure, spiritual, Krishna's names. Wherever Krishna is touched, it will purify that place. The sun rises and everything is purified. There is stool, urine, and everything passed by people, especially in India and all over the place. Right? In spite of Swachh Bharat, I think it's still happening. You will see that it's not the sun when it rises, it purifies every place, sucks up all the dirt and water and everything, dries up everything. So the Lord and his devotional service are independent of things in the material world, number one. Then why doesn't he do anything with the people who blaspheme the Lord and hurts the devotees? They get to suffer. They suffer. They suffer horrible things by offenses. Their next life will be very horrible. But because of their karma, good karma they have done, they hold on. If somebody has got a pious balance also, bad karma plus good karma also, because of the good karma only, they'll end up doing bad things. Because they become proud, they become, very puffed up, full of ego. And then they start, I'm like this, I'm great, I'm rich, I look very handsome, I'm born in a good family. Janma Aishwarya Shutashri Bir Yedamana Madha Puman. Janma Aishwarya Shutashri make people mad, Mada. Kunti Devi is saying this. Naivarhatin abhidhatum vai tvama kinchana gochara. But those who don't have these things, Krishna, you are their only property. Right? So in this world, puffed up people do all sorts of things and they ruin themselves. You don't have to give them a greater momentum. They're already rolling down the hill. They're already rolling down the hill. We don't have to do anything special to push them. The momentum is already gathering. Why spend time on them? Right? But when they affect devotees, then the Lord makes arrangement. Like Prahalad and his father. The Lord makes arrangement to come and do the needful to Prahlad's father. Then it exceeds a certain amount especially. Otherwise, there is some balance in this world. What to do? We have to put up with people like this. The devotees remain tolerant and they remain dependent on Krishna. And more than not, Krishna protects them definitely. It's not like visibly he's coming like Superman and Spider-Man and the Avengers and comes and does things to them so that you can see it. He doesn't have to do that. He does without you seeing it. And the devotees know that they are protected. Right? So he does protect them in such a way that he doesn't make a big noise about it. And the demons also slowly withdraw. These are happening in the material world. We can see that. After all, Krishna is giving that guarantee that my devotee will be protected. So it's a question of you getting to know how he's protecting me, when he protected me, what he used to protect me. You don't know all these details. That's all. Because of that, you don't have to think that he is not protecting either. We are all protected for sure. Satyendra Hiradesai, Hare Krishna Maharaj, how does one can surrender to God? If I chant Mahamantra and acknowledge Krishna that he is supreme, is that one of the ways? Surrender is not something external, Satyendra Prabhuji. It's not only in your action. Surrender means soulful, mindful, consciously coming to the point, right? And that occurs gradually. What you're talking about, chanting Hare Krishna, everything is the sadhana, the first practice. And we have not awakened our natural love for Krishna yet. But by doing this, it will awaken. And when it does awaken, you become completely absorbed in that. You won't even bother if somebody does something to you because you won't take it seriously. You won't get affected by it. You become impervious. You become completely immune to the world. The world will carry on and affect the material portion of you also maybe. But you are not affected because you're spirit soul. You will be able to be in that platform of realization. So that happens over a period of time. Initially, we are still in the bodily concept of life, but we believe and understand and have faith, we start performing. And as our faith increases, as our love increases, gradually more and more things happen. And you become free from the material concept of life. It's the material concept of life that gives us these doubts, these fears and everything. But they will all disappear. When Krishna enters into your heart and your consciousness is blossomed and you have full faith, it doesn't matter for a person. Whatever happens to him materially, it doesn't affect him. Just like I gave you the example that although the dentist is pulling out your tooth, you don't feel the pain because you're anesthetized. You're anesthetized and therefore let him pull the tooth, let him do what he wants. I don't care. It doesn't pain me. So a devotee gets anesthetized by Krishna consciousness. Even though things happen to him, he doesn't get affected by it. And that is why people get irritated with the devotees. Rascal, I'm calling you these names. I'm doing all these things to you. You're not affected. What to do? I don't care for these type of things, but I'm absorbed in Krishna. So these are other higher understanding of it, Satyendra. So it happens to every one of us over a period of time as we mature in our Krishna consciousness. Okay? I hope that helps you. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. It's 8:30. And I thought that for once I'll keep my time. From 7:30 to 8:30. Actually, I came at 7:15 today. I thought I should be on time. But then I waited till 7:30. That's okay. I'm happy to be here with you and serve you in whatever way that is possible. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.